Here's a look at the stories happening in your neighborhood.
What comes next? After a proposal to fund a new senior and community center was struck down in Meridian Township at the ballot box, I'm speaking with officials about what happens now.
Smoky conditions have cleared out across our neighborhoods, but we've replaced them with hit-or-miss showers and storms. We're tracking them for you coming up.
Changes to the way public mental health services are administered has Jackson and Hillsdale mental health service providers worried that availability may suffer. I'll show you what's happening and what's at stake.
The votes are counted and the results are in, but what comes next? Good evening, Mid-Michigan, and welcome to Fox 47 News in your neighborhood. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Colin Jankowski, here in my neighborhood of Meridian Township, following up after a millage and bond proposal failed. On Tuesday, neighbors came out to the polls to vote on several big races in our neighborhoods, including 2 mayoral and several city council races. Now those winners will be moving on to the November election to see who will officially win the position. But official seats weren't the only races on the ballot. Tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at 2 millage proposals, one that passed and one that failed. We begin in Meridian Township, where an effort to fund a new senior and community center did not make the cut. Euchre and pool, just some of the Wednesday afternoon activities at the Meridian Senior Center. But for the seniors participating, it's more than just games.
It helps me a lot because my husband passed away a couple years ago, and this gives me something to do every week.
Tuesday, voters in the township denied a funding proposal for a new center, with the current one scheduled for demolition in 2027.
We're still trying to sort of pick up the pieces and understand, what we can learn from the voters' intent.
Township Supervisor Scott Hendrickson says they'll need to begin conversations soon about a new plan for the future center.
If we do want to make use of the $5 million grant the state has provided, we do have to move quickly. And we do have a ticking clock on our current senior center. And so we're going to have some quick discussions in the next couple of weeks so that we understand how we can move forward and decide on how we should move forward.
Neighbors I talked to before the vote say that the cost and size of the project were too much. Hendrickson says the township hears those concerns, and they'll be factored into the next proposal.
Well, I can't speak for all the board members, but I think that any scaled-down cost version of this proposal will likely be just a senior center. And so the good news is we're addressing both of the concerns that our residents have with one option.
I'll continue following the search for the township's next senior center, and we'll bring you the latest as it develops. In Meridian Township, Colin Jankowski, Fox 47 News. And while the Meridian Township Senior Center proposals did not pass, a Bath Township proposal did gain support from neighbors. Claire Baccarella joins us now with what's next for the school district and what they plan on doing with the investment.
I'm your Bath Township neighborhood reporter, Claire Baccarella. Voters in Bath have spoken, and the nearly $27 million Bath school bond has passed. Now that the bond moves forward, I wanted to find out what the next steps are for the district and see how neighbors are feeling after the vote.
Relieved. I'm very relieved.
Many thankful neighbors in Bath on Wednesday. Thankful that the nearly $27 million school bond proposal passed.
Feeling good. We're excited for the community, excited for our students, and for our staff, too.
Bath Superintendent Chris Hodges tells me the projects in the bond include intruder alarms, new boilers at the high school, and new roofs for all 3 buildings. Hodges says the upcoming changes are much needed, citing leaks in the elementary school ceiling.
That's just unacceptable. I don't think anyone's okay with that, and I'm so happy that our community sees the need and supported us so we can get that problem fixed.
Community support, like from neighbor Michelle Allen.
I voted yes because I wanted to be sure that we had the same amount of support going to our school that we've had in the past, not less.
After we've seen like a recent bond fail in St. John's versus here, what do you think is the difference that made this one pass?
When I saw that fail, I was nervous for ours, but I know the community of Bath has always been very supportive of school funding measures. I've been told that there's never been a funding request that the community has said no to. So there's a lot of past history and pride in the community supporting the schools.
I asked Hodges about what's next for the district.
So the next step we have to do is actually sell the bond. So we're working with our financial advisor and legal counsel to take the steps to sell the bonds to actually get the funds to start the projects.
Superintendent Hodges tells me the district hopes to have the projects completed within 2 years. Reporting in Bath Township, I'm Claire Baccarella, Fox 47 News.
Neighbors can begin to breathe a little easier outside as smoky conditions continue to improve. In downtown Charlotte earlier today, it was clear skies as neighbors traveled around downtown. Let's check in now with meteorologist Brian Bachman to see when air quality will fully clear up.
Well, Colin, we expect continued improvement over the next 24 hours, so can breathe quite a bit easier across the area as we head into the next 24 hours or so. Doppler radar, though, showing the trade-off for the clearing smoke, higher humidity, and thus some of these pop-up showers and storms that continue across our neighborhoods tonight. Heaviest downpours right now coming down directly over Hillsdale, and you got another one here right in the vicinity of Hudson. Looks like it's tracking north towards Somerset. Some weakening showers still in the vicinity of Jackson. Downpours moving out of Mason, heading up toward places around Meridian Township and Okemos. And, of course, these ongoing downpours still sitting over southeastern Clinton County. Just make sure you're watching the skies closely if you're headed out the door this evening. Temps are a mixed bag, though. We're getting some of that rain-cooled air into the city of Lansing, even though the showers have mostly kind of developed around town. 76, 72 in Perry, 79 in Mason, and a combination of middle to upper 70s for just about everybody else out there this evening. For your Jackson planner, we'll keep that chance of an additional shower or storm in the mix for a couple more hours, then partly to mostly cloudy overnight. Temps eventually finding their way toward the mid-60s. A look toward the weekend is coming up.
Thanks, Brian. Now we turn our attention to our southern neighborhoods, where potential changes at the state level could impact a mental health provider in Jackson and Hillsdale. Neighborhood reporter Darius Udris is following up on what those changes could mean for the future of Lifeways.
We have hundreds of people like this in our county that need our help.
Mental health, a sensitive need that is gaining more attention and resources lately. I'm your Jackson neighborhood reporter Darius Udris, and in 2017 and 2018, voters in Jackson and Hillsdale counties approved a millage to meet that need. But some changes on the horizon have our Jackson and Hillsdale Mental Health Authority CEO, Maribeth Leonard, worried about the future. Lifeways is the official mental health services provider for Jackson and Hillsdale counties.
As an organization and as a state, we've done a lot of work to improve access for people.
CEO Maribeth Leonard says those services are now threatened not only at the federal level.
The one big, beautiful bill with the Medicaid cuts.
But the state level as well. Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services, or MDHHS, recently announced it's changing the way organizations like Lifeways will be managed.
And it's going to be detrimental to communities around behavioral health and substance use services.
Leonard is worried changes like reduced local representation on governing boards could shortchange local needs. She also says a new competitive bidding process could see private organizations stepping in to manage things, leading to what she fears could be reduced quality and availability. MDHHS says the changes are meant to improve services. A written statement from MDHHS says, quote, a recent survey of Medicaid beneficiaries and their families, advocacy groups, community-based organizations, and other partners, end quote, has, quote, identified several issues in the 10-region structure, fragmentation, service inconsistency, and limited accountability, end quote, that the changes are intended to fix. Leonard isn't convinced.
Having it be turned over to a health plan where we know what health plans do relative to utilization and access to services. There's lots of hoops that people have to go through. That's going to create barriers for people.
Darius Udris, Fox 47 News in Jackson.
Advocates are gathering. here at the state capitol, celebrating 90 years of Social Security. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Derek Mitchell, and with the milestone brings uncertainty to the program's future. AARP is holding events across the country to raise awareness about the future of Social Security. The organization warns that by 2034, the fund could be depleted to the point where recipients would only receive 77% of their earned benefits. They're calling on seniors and supporters to contact their representatives.
And so we just want to make certain that in 2034, when the fund is expected to be depleted and people are only getting like 77% of their earned income, that they're getting that 100% of the money that they've put in.
AARP officials say the program has been crucial in lifting seniors out of poverty. They've launched a petition on their website for those concerned about the program's future. For more information, visit fox47news.com. In Lansing, I'm Derek Mitchell, Fox 47 News.
From pencils to backpacks, the back-to-school list adds up fast. Ahead, how Delta Township families are getting a little bit of help checking off that list for free.